So today we are planning to start the DSA series. So I'm starting to solve DSA problems from today, and we'll plan to solve around 300 problems and upload it here on YouTube. And also I will give you solutions and explain time complexity of each problem in detail. So today we are starting with the first problem, that is minimum and maximum in an array. So let's start looking into this problem, what the problem says. So in the given array, your task is to find the minimum and maximum element of that particular array. Note, return an array that contains two elements. The first one will be the minimum element and the second one will be the maximum of an array. So here they have given an example. In this example they have given 3, 2, 1, 56 and 10,000 and 167. So in this array, as you can see, the minimum or the smallest number is 1 and the maximum number, which is the greatest number in that array, is 10,000. So we have to print both of them in output, like the minimum will be the first one and the maximum will be the second one. Similarly, they have given two more example here. Here in the third example, as you can see that since the array contains only one element, so both minimum and maximum are same. So in this case, we have to print the both the elements. Expected time complexity is big O of n and space complexity is big O of 1. And the array size is in between, which is greater than and equal to 1 and less than and equal to 10 to the power 5, means 10 to the power 5, and array of I is greater than and equal to 1 and less than and equal to 10 to the power 12. So let's start into the topic. First, check what are the tags for this. This is array and related articles. No, nothing. So this question is a pretty much popular. So let's try to start solving this problem. So quickly open a VS Code and yep, so I have done this setup. As you can see, I have opened the VS Code and here we have a function which is get minimum and maximum, and I have console log that function and I'm passing the input for that particular function. So let me show you how this works. I'll try to console log that array and I'll run the program. So as you can see that this has printed the array. Why this undefined is coming, that we'll see later, but currently we are getting our input into the console. So let's try to solve this problem. So let's think about the logic here. So to get the minimum and the maximum from this particular array, means we can think of that we need to sort this array, correct? So first simple solution will be something like this: array dot sort, and everybody knows the sort function in JavaScript. How does it work? So I'll just do a minus b and then our array is sorted. So after sorting our array, so it will be the first element will be the smallest and the last element will be the maximum element. So let's quickly try to do that. Array of 0 means first element, and the array of array dot length minus 1. So this should give you 1 and 10,000. Let's see, we got the answer. So let's try to paste this answer into the gig for gig. So over here, let's try to add that answer. Instead of console log, we need to return it so that the answer can be readable, and we have to print both the numbers beside each other. So I've just added it into an array. Let's compile and run before submitting and see how does this work. So okay, so we got our expected output. Let's try to run a different input. Let's try to run this one. custom input here. Okay, we don't need to add the array bracket, so I'll just add, and let's see how our answer comes in here. Okay, still our output came correct, so let's try to submit this. Okay, so our problem has successfully passed. So we got the test cases passed. So there are around 1119 test cases that has run around this problem, and we have taken time around 0.75, which is really good. And let's see, but the problem here is that this is an inbuilt sort function. What if we want to solve it by ourselves? In the interviews, people ask not to use inbuilt functions and try to create your own logic and solve this kind of problem. So let's try to see that as well, how we can solve that problem in that case. And we'll come to the time complexity at the end of the problem. For both the problem, we'll check the time complexity. So let's go back again and let's think how we can solve this problem. So to solve this problem, let's try to understand the logic first. So let's go here. Let me get my pen to draw. Let's reload. I think this has lost the server. Okay, so let me quickly type in the input array, which is 3, 2, 1, 56, sorry, 10,000 and 167. So let's try to dry run this problem. So what we can think, how we can solve this, like how to solve this, like how we can make the our own sorting, or how we can validate which one is it. So I can think of one way to solve this. Let's try to think on that. So let's assume I have one minimum and one maximum variable. In the minimum, what I'll do, I'll store very big number. Very big means largest of all the numbers. Let's say I'll store infinity. Nothing is greater than infinity, and in the maximum we will store the smallest of the smallest number. So what we can store here, let's assume we can store minus infinity. For now, let's understand it that way. So we have two variables. I'll name that let. So we have two variables, variable minimum and variable maximum. Okay, now let's try to loop over our array here. This is our array. Let's try to loop it. So I'll not write all the syntax, but let's try. For I is equal to 0, our I should be less than our array dot length and I plus plus. If maximum is less than array of I, what we will do in this case, we will assign the maximum variable the value of array of I. Next condition is if minimum is greater than array of I. In this case, minimum is equal to array of I. Let's close the loop. After the loop runs, then we will just return the minimum comma maximum. Okay, so I hope everybody did not get it. So what we did here, let's try to simply try to understand what we have tried to do here. Let's try to dry run this one. Okay, so in our minimum there is an infinity, in our maximum there is minus infinity. Okay, so loop start at 0. What is the value of I at 0? Which is 3. So let's take 3. Okay, now I is less than array dot length. Yes, so I is 0, which is less than array dot length. What is the length of our array? It's 5. So 0 is less than 5, and then we came inside the loop. If maximum is less than array of I, what is our maximum? Our maximum is infinity. Sorry, our maximum is minus infinity. So is maximum less than array of I? So right now the array of I is 3. So minus infinity means it's a very small number. Let's assume it's the world's smallest number. So we said that maximum is less than array of I, means world's smallest number is less than our 3. This condition is matched here. So this condition is matched. So in that case what will happen? Maximum becomes array of I. So this in minus infinity will be replaced with 3. Okay, now let's come down. Now minimum is greater than array of I. What is minimum? Minimum is world's biggest number. This is world's biggest number. Okay, this is world's biggest number. So world's biggest number is greater than array of I? No, world's biggest number cannot be greater than 3. So this condition will not be matched, and then it will again come to the top. Now we have incremented the loop, and now I is 1. When I is equal to 1, what is the value? Which is 2. So now value is 2. Now we again came here. If maximum is less than array of 1, which is 2. Okay, so what is the value of maximum right now? 3. 3 is greater than 2. I mean to say, sorry, 3 is less than 2. No, these conditions doesn't match. So what will happen? It will go down to check the second condition. Minimum is greater than array of I. What is the minimum? Minimum is the world's biggest number. World's biggest number is greater than array of I. This condition is true now because world's biggest number is greater than 2, which is right. Then what will happen? Then we will assign minimum is equal to array of I. So then we will come here, we will remove this and add. Now the value of minimum is 2. Okay, now the loop ends and I is again incremented. Now the value of I is 2. What is the value at I is equal to 2? Which is 1. So now the value is 1. Now again come into the loop. If maximum is less than array of I, our maximum is 3 and array of I is 1. So 3 is less than 1. Our maximum is less than 1. No. So this condition will not match. Then it came down into the next if statement. What it says? Minimum is greater than array of I. What is our minimum? Our minimum is 2, which is greater than array of I. What is our array of I? Is 1. Our minimum is greater than 1, which is a true condition. So in that case, what it will happen? Minimum is equal to array of I. So now we will replace this with 1. So now our variable holds value of 1, which is minimum currently. Again the loop is completed. Again it will go back to the top. Now the value of I is increased and it became 3, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is 56. Now the value is 56. Again we came to the first if condition, which is maximum is less than array of I. 3 is less than 56. This is a true. 3 is less than 56. Then what will happen? We will assign maximum the value of array of I. Then again the maximum value will be changed and it will be 56. First if condition is checked. Now we come to the second one. Here minimum is should be greater than array of I. What is our minimum? 1 is greater than 56. No, this is wrong. So we will not go inside if statement and we will go back to the top again. Now the value of I is 4. What is the value of I at position 4? It is 10,000. Now we have a 10,000. Okay. Now we check the first if condition. Maximum should be less than array of I. What is maximum? 56 is less than 10,000. This condition is true. That's why we go inside the if statement and maximum is equal to array of I. Now we will again change the value of maximum. The 56 will be changed to 10,000. Second condition we came, minimum should be greater than array of I. What is minimum? 1 is greater than 10,000. No, this is wrong. So we will not go inside the loop and then again we will come to the top. Now what is the value of I now? Which is 5, which is 167. 167. Now again check, maximum is less than array of I. What is maximum? 10,000 is less than 167. No, this is wrong. So we will not go inside loop. Check the second one. Minimum is greater than array of I. What is minimum? 1 is greater than 167. 1 is not greater than 167. So what will happen? It will not go inside of that. So we will again come to the top. Now again i's value will be incremented and it will become 6. Now I should be less than array dot length, but we have reached to the fifth. Now I is 6, so loop will break and we will return the minimum and maximum value. What we can say, minimum is 1 and maximum is 10,000. So that is how we can solve this problem as well without using any inbuilt sort function. So this is the solved this problem. We have solved it on the paper. Now let's try to code this problem as well. Let's come to the VS Code. This is our VS Code and let's try to come this. So I'll create one variable which is let variable is minimum and let variable this is maximum. So now you will tell me how we will write infinity and minus infinity here. So come to the problem again. Come to the problem. Let's close this. So they have given the constraint to us. What is the size of the array? It is 10 to the power 5. And what is the array of I? It could be 10 to the power 12. So means 10 to the power 12, it can't go beyond that. And it is always greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1. So in this case, we from the constraint we can think of the condition. So always remember to read problems into an interview or solving the problem. Never go for rush. It is important to read the problem entirely and then go for solving the problem. So over here, so the constraint told us that the array of I will start from 1 or equal to 1. So what minimum value we can give it, or the maximum? When for the maximum in the problem, for the maximum we gave the minus infinity, because we have to give the smallest number to the maximum. So we will give something like -1 here, because not any input will come less than this one. And for the minimum we have to give the greatest number. So what we will do, we will do 10. And what was the constraint there, which is 10 to the power 10 to the power 12. So let's break this. So I will give 12 zeros to this one, so this will be the biggest number. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Let's give one more just for safety. Now we have given our minimum and maximum. Let's try to write the loop. For let I is equal to 0, I should be less than array dot length I plus plus. First condition is if maximum is less than array of I, we will go inside, and maximum is equal to array of I. And if minimum is greater than array of I, then minimum is equal to array of I. After the loop is executed, we will simply do one thing. We will console.log our minimum comma maximum. So we have already seen this loop in dry run. Let's see our output comes or not. So I'll run node the file name. So see, we got the output 1 and 10,000. So let's take this code and submit it into the gig for gig. And instead of array of 0, we will just replace it with minimum and maximum. Okay, let's try to compile our code first before submitting. Okay, so we got our output that we had tried. Let's try to submit this problem as well. Okay, so we have passed the problem, and if you remember, we got the time taken for the sort function, which is 0.79, and the time taken for our function is 0.23, which is less than sort. This is great, guys. So we have solved this problem without using sort as well. Now quickly see the time complexity for this problem. So this is the part where most of the people are not aware of the lot of the things. So let's try to understand the time complexity here. Let me quickly try to rub the unnecessary part. Okay, so let's understand here. So the problem start from here. So we have defined variables. The first variable is the minimum, and the second one is the maximum. So over here we are storing value which doesn't depends on the input. So this is a constant value that we are storing into this variable. That's why this is big O of 1 and this is big O of 1. Now comes to the loop. So our loop ran from I is equal to 0 to I less than array dot length. Correct? So our in loop ran from 0 to end of the array. That means this has run entirely. Agreed? Here I is equal to 0 is constant, and this is the condition, and this is the condition. So for these condition, the loop ran from start till the end. So irrespective of what the size of the input is, if the input is 10,000, still the value will start from 0 till the end. So in this case, the time complexity is big O of n. Now let's try to understand the time complexity for the sort. So in case of sort, what we do, we did array dot sort a comma b and then a minus b. So sort function takes time complexity of big O of n log n. Here return statement takes big O of 1. So for our solution without sort, we got the time complexity of big O of n and space complexity of big O of 1. And for the array dot sort, we got the time complexity as big O of n log n and space complexity as big O of 1. So that is all, guys. So I'll attach the solution and the link for the problem into the video. Please let me know into the comment section that if you want me to solve more problems, we will try to solve a lot of problems. Try to dry run them. We will try to cover a lot of problems here. I'll need your support, so it will motivate me to create more problems. And I'm starting new, so maybe I'm not very perfect. Let me know for suggestions. I'm trying my best to improve in my content, and I will try my best, guys. So let me know for any suggestions or anything, and have a good day, night, whatever it is. Just try and keep learning.